The 2023 music video for Lemon Pound Cake weaponized actual police surveillance footage pulled directly from a home security system during an active raid. The footage was recorded in August 2022 when Adams County Sheriff's deputies executed an armed search warrant on a residence in rural Ohio. The warrant was issued on suspicion of drug trafficking and kidnapping. The search resulted in 0 criminal charges. While no evidence of trafficking or kidnapping was found, the deputies damaged the property and seized over $4,000 in cash, most of which was never returned to the homeowner. The homeowner was Joseph Foreman, also known professionally as the rapper Afroman. Faced with a traumatized family and a significant loss of property, Foreman lacked a clear path to hold the sheriff's department accountable through traditional internal channels. Foreman decided to use his own security footage as creative raw material. He released an album and multiple music videos featuring the deputies moving through his home. One specific track, Lemon Pound Cake, was inspired by footage of an officer eyeing a cake on the kitchen table while his 2 young children were held nearby. By turning the raid into a commercial hip-hop project, Foreman reclaimed the narrative of the incident. He used his platform to subject the deputies to sharp public ridicule, converting the state's invasive search into a viral moment of artistic resistance. In 2023, 7 deputies filed a lawsuit against Foreman, seeking nearly $3.9 million, with the largest claim reaching $1.5 million. They brought 13 legal claims, alleging defamation and invasion of privacy, arguing the mocking merchandise caused emotional distress and professional embarrassment. The American Civil Liberties Union characterized the lawsuit as a SLAP suit. A SLAP suit, or strategic lawsuit against public participation, is a legal action filed by a powerful party to silence or intimidate critics by burdening them with the cost of a legal defense until they abandon their criticism. In these cases, the goal is often to financially exhaust the defendant rather than to prove a legal injury. By forcing Foreman into a lengthy and expensive court battle, the deputies could effectively censor his criticism and discourage others from filming police conduct. This $3.9 million demand put the First Amendment on trial. It forced a jury to decide if law enforcement officers could use civil litigation to punish a citizen for satirizing their official actions. The case went to a civil trial in March 2026. Foreman's attorney, David Osborne Jr., focused his defense on the boundary between fact and art. The first defense pillar distinguished between a provable false statement of fact and artistic hyperbole. Defamation law requires a literal lie presented as truth. Osborne argued that a rap lyric targeting a deputy is a form of protected opinion that no reasonable person would interpret as a factual report. The second pillar was the public official doctrine. This legal principle states that government employees, like police officers, must meet a higher standard of proof in defamation cases because they hold public power and are subject to public scrutiny. Osborne argued that officers executing a warrant must accept criticism. The tension in the courtroom peaked during the cross-examination of Sergeant Randy Walters. Walters had complained that Foreman's lyrics about his family were damaging, specifically referencing a provocative song about Walters' wife. Osborne confronted Walters with the specific lyric and asked him directly if anyone believed the claim was true. On the stand, Walters was forced to admit that the statement was obviously a made-up fiction intended for the song. This stunning admission undermined the entire lawsuit. A defamation claim cannot survive if even the plaintiff acknowledges the statements are artistic exaggerations. Once it was clear the lyrics weren't being presented as literal facts, the legal basis for the deputies' damages vanished. After 6 hours of deliberation, the jury returned a complete defense verdict on all 13 counts. Joseph Foreman was cleared of all liability, and the deputies' multi-million-dollar claims were rejected in their entirety. Foreman left the courthouse in a white fur coat and an American flag suit, celebrating the outcome as a victory for free speech. He maintained that the responsibility for the controversy lay with the officers who initiated the raid in the first place. The lawsuit became a textbook example of the Streisand effect. The Streisand effect is a social phenomenon where an attempt to hide or censor a piece of information has the unintended consequence of publicizing that information more widely. Instead of suppressing the video, the deputies' legal battle kept the footage in the news cycle for years. Their attempt to collect millions in damages resulted in a jury verdict that protects an artist's right to mock the government using its own surveillance records. Ultimately, the case highlights the role of the First Amendment in protecting expression that challenges the exercise of state power. It confirms that when government actions are caught on camera, the citizens involved have the right to share those images and offer their own perspective, no matter how biting or satirical that perspective may be.